Hi, everybody. This is Lorna Hennington and Tracy Bates with the Bates Hennington team. We felt it was necessary for us to do a video to talk a little bit about everything that's going on currently in the wake of George Floyd's death. We have great sorrow around that, as we know. The vast majority of you do, or hopefully do. And we did want to say something. We wanted to talk a little bit about how we're feeling and what changes we're making in our business to try and move this conversation forward and move change forward. And we've had a lot of people ask us what changes they could make. And so we want to address that a little bit. Obviously, as Black women and Black realtors, Black mothers, Black wives to Black husbands, Black sisters, we're devastated and feeling a variety of emotions, anger, sadness, frustration, but also hopefulness. This is not the first time we've been through this, obviously, but the crowds this time are different. The energy's different. The statements are different. And that has led to us feeling that there's some hope around change this time. Maybe it's because of coronavirus, where everybody's home and can actually take a moment to pay attention to the news, to protest, to make a statement. And so in that way, maybe coronavirus has been a little bit of a blessing, but we really want to make changes that are going to affect our communities, our family, the future, Los Angeles, this country. And so we want to speak a little bit to what we're doing. And I'll let Tracy take it from there.
I'm echoing the same sentiments that Lorna has shared. When we first saw of the killing of George Floyd, we were sickened. Honestly, it was difficult to focus on business for several days. We've been, going headstrong first into making sure that we're staying on top of all of our business activities, but this really took our, for lack of a better phrase, it took our breath away. And it's been difficult. And so we think that it's important that we not only talk about this, but talk about the changes that we're making personally, that we're making professionally, and some of the suggestions that we have for people, the many people who've contacted us, who've asked us, what can we do? Personally, we are donating 5% of the sales from our business to anti-racism organizations. So that's the first step that we're taking as a business. That's the first step that we're taking. Personally, we're donating to Black Lives Matter and the Southern Poverty Law Center on a monthly basis, because we know that they need our ongoing funding in order to help to spread this movement and to stop racism. One of the other things that we're doing is hosting we're going to host first-time home buyer seminars in the Black community. We host seminars all the time, but we have not hosted them in the Black community. So we are committed to doing that. And the other thing that we're doing as a business is providing internships for Black high school students in underserved communities, because we know that it starts there with these young people who haven't had the same opportunities that a lot of other non-Black children have had. So we want to be a part of helping to let them see what it's like to run a business and learn the basics of business from Black women.
Yeah. And then in regard to all the calls that we've had regarding what people can do to help, first of all, we want to thank you for your outreach, and we appreciate that very much. It is important to use your voice, not only with us, but out to the community, to talk to the people that are in your circle and to make your statements publicly about your concern over what is happening and the importance of Black lives to you. You can also donate, as we have, to organizations that are anti-racism or Black Lives Matter or Southern Poverty Law Center, or any organization you think that is doing that work. Just do your research on the organization and make sure that that is where their funds are actually going, is to the work. Educate yourself about the history of this country, the real history of this country, and how Black people are very important in the development, in the building, way beyond slavery. And that's important for people to know. It's not taught in schools, and I don't think Tracy and I encounter a lot of people who are not Black who are aware of it. So educate yourself, and then take a moment to try and educate others. Encourage other people to speak out, get involved, whether it's a physical protest, it's a protest online, it's conversations with people you know. Be an active voice, not a passive voice. Advocate changing in legislation. Talk to your sign petitions, talk to your council people, talk to your mayor, talk to your legislators, your Congress people. Really be a part of the change. Mentor someone who is Black. If you own a business, if you're in a position at a company, take the opportunity to teach someone who may not have otherwise had the opportunity to be exposed to the business you're working in. Mentor someone. Support Black businesses. There are lists online of wonderful restaurants that you can be Postmating and Yelping from. Not Yelping, what's that other thing? Not Postmates?
Postmates and Grubhub.
Grubhub. Use those and support Black restaurants. Support Black businesses in your business. Use vendors that are with Black-owned companies. Participate in supporting the arts of Black artistic companies like Alvin Ailey. Don't just say they're wonderful. Buy a ticket. Really be supportive. Be involved. It's important for all of us, all of our families, our entire community in Los Angeles and beyond, and the future, for us to be able to get to a point where we can look at one another and call each other brother and sister, because that's what we are. We're all human beings. It doesn't matter what the color of our skin is. It doesn't matter what our religion is. We are all God's children, and we need to treat each other that way. It's unbelievable to me the way people can parse up the Bible so that it represents some and not others. That is not the way that it should be read. And I don't usually talk about religion because everybody has different religious beliefs. But if you're going to hold up the Bible, you need to have read it. You need to understand what it means. At the end of the day, we are all family. So we need to treat each other that way.
Lorna said it eloquently, and I don't know that there's much more that I can add to what she said. I just want to continue on this mission for racial justice, racial equity. I want to make sure that, and be a part of making sure that when our husbands and our brothers and our cousins walk out the door, that we don't have to be worried about whether or not they're going to come back. There's so much inequity that is existing right now. And we want to and are a part of that change. And we hope that you join us, and know that we are here to, on a business level, talk about this, on a personal level, talk about this, and talk about the things that we can do to continue to push this movement forward. So we really appreciate you listening to the end. If you did and you're still here, we appreciate it. And let's just continue to push this movement forward and to acknowledge that Black lives matter.
One other thing Tracy and I have discussed at length is get out there and get people to register to vote. Vote yourselves. However you're going to vote, this is the time to do it like no other. Please don't sit at home and not vote, unless you're sitting at home with your absentee ballot, then that's okay. So please do what you can do to help be a part of change. And thank you so much for listening.